out your when I. No, I can't show you no love, baby. Yeah, I am a boss in the cut, Mayday. Bubbles and I'm these models. It's popping, I tip her. I skip her, I give her the. Girl, you on my line right now. Yeah, I can see the signs right now. Feeling like a boss right now. Feeling like a boss right now. And you just took a loss right now. Dripping in the sauce right now. Get a sprinkle up my style. I'm about to lock down.
Feel like in the real life, dripping on sauce in the good life. You shine, I shine, and ain't nobody gonna take mine. I just wanna be a boss. I would never ever fall.
I feel like a boss right now. Talk to the man right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Feel like the man right now. Your girl on my line right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Shorty ought to be my me. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. She love me in the gray sweatpants. You know that I left, yeah.
Feeling like a boss, I done made it. Get so like a spaceship. I swear my life is amazing. Blowing money, no hesitation. Up, downs, no basic. I know these be hating, but that's what made me feel like in the real life, dripping on sauce in the good life. You shine, I shine, and ain't nobody gonna take mine. I just wanna be a boss. I will never ever fall.
I woke up and I'm feeling like a boss right now. I'm gonna hold it down, I swear. I roll up and I'm smelling like a...
We find ourselves at the home of the world's first retractable natural grass field as you get a look inside State Farm Stadium in Glendale. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Arizona Cardinals. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31. This running game so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
Here's Winston looking downfield for Godwin, and that's caught inside the 35. A gain of 39 that time.
That's an excellent read right there. Saw cover one. That means it's just a single high safety. So you know if you throw the ball to the outside part of the field, help is going to be a little bit late getting there. And he puts one out there for a big-time completion.
Now Winston into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Dylan Cole. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. That's now his second interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's a good way to start the drive, 17 yards and a first down. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. They stay on the ground on first for Johnson. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
They'll run it with Johnson, and that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
Doesn't take any great analysis on my part. It's been pretty obvious. Last couple of plays, these guys been going in the wrong direction.
And down he goes, a Buccaneer sack. Fletcher Cox in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. So on 4th down, kicking it away here, Michael Pilardi. Back deep for the Bucs, Deshaun Jackson. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. The Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He's going to air one out. So they took a shot on 1st down, but couldn't connect.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Now Winston. Out to the left there and complete to Howard. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. The Pro Bowler Patrick Peterson back deep for Arizona. This is taken at the 15. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. His first catch, good for 9 and a 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. On 2nd down, here's Rosen. And he whips that one incomplete there. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Rosen just getting the snap off at 1. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
Out of his end zone, Winston. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Howard. A second juke. And he's out right at the 25. 23 yards on the play. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you, from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season opener opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I'd missed him, it would have been a different story. Long night.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. The second down throw for Winston. The Cards get to him here. He's brought down for a sack. Chandler Jones in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. Working out of the gun, Winston. Looking downfield for Godwin. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant the flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Well, nice job on the return there. 16 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. They want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. And he's got this down to the 35. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. Now on the heels of that run by Johnson, here's another 1st and 10. They'll look to throw on 1st down with Josh Rosen. Throw left side complete. That's Carter. Finding room to the 20. And he'll take this one in for the Arizona touchdown. It's the fullback. His first touchdown on the year. And the Cardinals have taken the early lead. Extra point hung the upright a bit, but he gets it to go. And that makes the score 7-0. Bailey now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Yeah, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And some room to roam now. Space to maneuver at the 40. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
I know that play went to the left side, and that's what it was designed to do, an outside handoff there. But how about the whole offensive line being involved? Seal the left side where the play was going, what they call play side. But how about on the back side? Just taking care of business to make sure no one can get there and disrupt it.
Is the biggest key the left tackle?
Without a doubt. Control that edge. Get out there. You want that left tackle, or if you bring your tight end over there, either way, control the edge of the line of scrimmage, you got a chance to rumble.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partners, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Play action now. Winston under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
How about that? One of the so-called little guys putting the pressure on. That was a strong safety. When I was in college, we often called that a lightning blitz.
Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. From the shotgun, it's Winston. It's caught. Jones. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Flushed out right. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah,
what's going on?
It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know, is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found...
And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Deshaun Jackson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Buccaneers are an extra point away from tying up this football game. Extra point was hooking, but he does make it through. And we are tied at 7. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. And the Cardinals getting set to trot out there now. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. This one complete to Christian Kirk. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. A really nice gain of 25 yards. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from, working his way into the secondary. figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
And that play will go nowhere, losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. They'll run with a former Badger. It's Corey Clement. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
This time, Rosen will throw. It's caught. Nelson. Touchdown, Cardinals. J.J. Nelson, his first touchdown on the year. And the Cardinals are in for 6.
All the receivers in the league are plenty good enough. Otherwise, they wouldn't make it in the NFL. But the ones that go to the Pro Bowl, they have refined route running ability.
Bailey got the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7. Bailey now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. So out come the Bucs now. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 22. Now it's a bootleg with Winston. And the pressure will bring him down here. The Cardinals get home for the sack. Chandler Jones in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a yard, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Let's go now. Ready. White 25.
From the gun, Winston. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. They'll wind up with 17 on that one, but they're still a bit short here for 4th.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Now they go for it on 4th down, but that pass is knocked away and incomplete. So they take a big chance here in their own territory, and you think the coach may have some questions to answer?
Yeah, and, you know, normally we focus on the media, right? The social media barrage that he's going to get for this one. How about on his own sideline and in his locker room? Because I think the team's going to look at him like, Coach, why would we go for it there? I mean, no confidence in the defense. You don't like the punter? I mean, what's going on here? You owe us some explanations.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
On 2nd down, Rosen. He'll buy some time right. Oh, the rookie nearly had the pick. Probably should have had it. 3rd down now. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Set! Blue 90! Blue 90!
On 3rd down, Rosen. The catch made by Miller. 1:57 to go in this first half. More from the desert after this. The Cardinals into the red zone for the first time. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 11. From the shotgun, it's Rosen. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. And he is in for 6. Touchdown, Cardinals. David Johnson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Cardinals now adding on to their lead. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And it's now 21-7. Bailey now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a couple yards deep, he'll go to a knee. He won't return it. And they'll take it out to the 25. Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 38 yards on the scamper there. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Green, triple T. Ready.
1st down, Winston. Buying time to his left. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down. 1st down now, but that clock rolling. He is tough to bring down Jameis Winston. Charles, I remember calling a baseball game of his. He played baseball at Florida State, too. And you saw his legs, tree trunks sprayed in to those baseball pants. I said, how could anybody bring this guy down?
And that's part of the beauty of his game because he has that toughness, that thick body. He may not beat you sprinting, but he's real sharp with his mind, and he knows how to get away from people.
They'll try to throw now. Winston. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the 1st down.
This is Ajayi. And they get to him quickly here as he's stopped right around the 13. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. Not time enough for a play and then a timeout, you wouldn't think. So with 4 seconds left, they're going for it. Final play of the half here, Winston. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. So we reach halftime here in Glendale with the Cardinals on top. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. The Cards with the lead, and they will get this football first as the second half gets started. That's fielded in the end zone. So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive. As they score here, especially a touchdown, it's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They go to Johnson again. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The Cardinals on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. From the gun, it's Rosen. Wide open receiver complete. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Again, it's Johnson. And he's able to get across midfield and down into Buccaneer territory. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go. Rosen now off the bootleg. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Levante David in there to drop him for a loss of 10. And it'll be 4th and long. Here's Michael Pilardi now as he's on to punt for Arizona. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively, and now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
no, tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13.
Hey, let's convert.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. And he'll take this one up over the 20 to the 21-yard line. They'll get 4 on 2nd down, but it leaves them with 3rd and still 9 to go. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn 1 here in this 3rd quarter. The Bucs on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 9. Jameis to throw it. And Winston lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Anger is on to punt, and he gets this one away. Now it's Peterson. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Cardinal offense here ready to take over. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Solid way to start the drive, 13 yards, picking up the first.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Right back to him on 1st down. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now Rosen to throw on 2nd down. And that's incomplete. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot, but they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
From the gun on 3rd down is Rosen. And able to find Kirk complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Here's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Now it's Rosen. Out to his left. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Levante David in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. The Cardinals on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Gun. Here's Josh Rosen. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And Bailey able to knock it through. And that will extend their lead even further. So chalk that down as an 8-play drive, capped with a field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Jameis on second down. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long.
Ready. Move away.
Winston now. And the pressure gets to him again. Take Carradine in there to drop him, and back-to-back sacks now bring up 4th and long. Here's Brian Anger now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. On the return is Peterson. 12 yards on the return that time, and out will come the offense as they take over. The Cardinals offense now works their way back onto the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
He got 29 yards that time. Well, I'm sure he likes this performance a little bit better than last week. He had the 3 interceptions here, none in the 4th quarter, and he's got his guys in front.
Guaranteed he put in a tremendous amount of work this week, but maybe the matchup.
Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Levante David in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. Rosen off the play action. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A good pick up there of 20 yards. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it. And the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
The Cardinals on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and 9. Rosen will throw. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He hit his first, this one from 38. And Bailey able to knock it through. And that will extend their lead even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? Well, a lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Ready?
A first down throw for Winston. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Ready?
The second down throw for Winston. He's got his tight end over the middle, O.J. Howard. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down. He may try and run for this. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag. But you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Maybe a critical mistake at this juncture is now they've got a 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Winston. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Take Carradine in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon. Second down, Winston. Well, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. Third down. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number. Not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense, they spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
The Bucs on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 17.
Ready? Blue ready?
Working out of the gun. Winston being chased out left. Now he's going to let it go deep back over the middle. And, oh, Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Jamar Taylor. And it's a good return here as he'll get all the way up close to the 35.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit. And receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
They go play action here on first down. That's caught on the left side by Kirk. He's got this to the 30 before being taken down. They give him a gain of 37. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
And this is incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver, and it's second down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
They'll get about 6 there as he takes this one down to the 24-yard line.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they won't put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Johnson. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. It's a gain of 4 there that gives him a new set of downs. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. He can't bring him down.
The weight room does work.
Escaping the pressure. And that'll be caught by Gresham for a Cardinal touchdown. Jermaine Gresham, his first touchdown on the year. And the Cardinals will extend their lead. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Bailey got the extra point, and that stretches the lead all the way up to 27. Bailey now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
3 down, 3 down. Hey, ready, blue ready.
Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
Ready, blue ready. Blaze up, blaze up.
Here's Winston. Dancing to his left. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
Now a 2nd down throw for Winston. Now a desperation throw. And got his man complete. The 30. 10. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. A big play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bucs are able to cut into that deficit. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. So out now come the Cardinals. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they? They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels, because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win. They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages. And Rosen's actually going to throw it here. Underneath for Johnson. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 12 yards there as they move the chains. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Play action here with Rosen. And down he goes. A Buccaneer sack. Brian Orakpo in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Oh, and now he bowls him over. Fights through, and now a crease. The 40. And all the way down to the 35. A big hitter. That one goes for 40 yards.
Well, you know what they say about the best laid plans, partner. I mean, this one was totally foiled. They played for the pass. The idea was if you want to run it, that's fine. We'll rally up and make the tackle. Except they didn't get it done.
Yeah, it's 3rd and long and a big run there. How about that? And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Cards, it's a much-needed victory as it gets them back to 2-4 on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Meanwhile, for the Buccaneers, they dip to 2-5 now with the loss. And they'll get an extra week to think about it as the midseason bye might be coming at just the right time. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.